I want you to take a look at this. This is the victory stele of Utu-Khengal, the saviour of Sumer. He defeated the Gutians after 200 years of Akkadian and Gutian rule. He brought rule in Sumer back to the natives. And I'm going to give you the full translation for this at the end, but at first I want to go through a sentence. I want to show you how Sumerian grammar is structured. There's just a couple lines here that I want to go through because it gives a good demonstration of tense, person and case. Neither should it be too long and overwhelming. So these are the signs that we're looking at, and it says Gutaim, Enliole, Ma'anshum. So very basically, Sumerian uses agglutination. It uses a system of logograms and syllables and determinatives to build words. For instance, the top line is building a word. We have gu, tai, and ki here. This is a determinative. And the ki determinative in the post position tells us that what precedes it is the name of a city. Don't get confused though, the sign isn't always used as a determinative, it depends on where it appears in the sequence. But every single Sumerian sign has the potential to hold up to 3 functions, being a logogram, a syllable, or a determinative. But as I said, this is a post-position determinative, meaning city. So what preceded it is the name of a city. So Gutium is the name of a city. So the very next sign there, the star-looking sign, is another determinative. This is a pre-determinative. And you'll notice in transliteration there, determinatives are always put in brackets. And you also see this sign twice here. This is the most used sign in Sumerian grammar. And this is a demonstration of 2 of its different functions. So the star at the very beginning of the second line is a determinative, is a predeterminative telling us that what follows is the name of a divine being. Determinatives aren't pronounced, but if you were to pronounce this sign, if it was in a different scenario, you would pronounce this dingir. But further along the chain, it has a completely different value. It's being used as a syllable. And I'll get to that in just a second. But here is the determinative, and it's telling us that what follows it is the name of a divine entity. And this divine entity is Enlil. It says Enlil. Enlil is attached to the ergative case marker. That's what the lay is for on the end. It's actually just the E we're looking at, but this is the ergative case marker. It's telling us that Enlil is the subject of this transitive verb. And you may or may not know that a transitive verb always needs a direct object. The direct object is Gutium. Gutium, the city itself, is the direct object. And the fact that this is actually marked, Gutium is marked in the absolutive, is informing us of that. So at this point, we know that Enlil, being the subject of the transitive verb, is doing something to Gutium, the city. So even though in Sumerian Gutium is read first, in English, we're going to translate it with Enlil first, because Sumerian is subject, object, verb, and Enlil is the subject of this transitive verb. And we know that because it's marked, as I said, with the ergative case marker. So it's going to be Enlil doing something to Gutium, not Gutium doing something to Enlil. Okay, so let's go through the verbal chain quickly, because I'm probably boring the shit out of all of you. So ma is a prime example of how annoying Sumerian can be. So ma is actually a mashup of the vented prefix mu and the first person dative prefix ma. And they're just using the M of mu and the A of ma, and it's still spelling ma anyway. So it's saying to me. An is also a mashup of 2 things, but it's much more simpler. The A is just the auslaut of the previous sign. Auslaut means out sound, so it's just carrying on the A from ma. Syllabic languages did this because they had to, just because it's not a single letter alphabet, so this just had to be done. And it's the N that's giving us the information, and this is the final pronominal prefix in the 3rd person, so it's just saying he. And finally, shum is the verbal base meaning to give, and it's in the past tense. We know this because there's nothing after it, so this means it's in the past tense, or the chamtu. So a literal translation is Enlil Gutium, to me he gave. Further translated into modern English, Enlil gave Gutium to me. So that took quite a bit longer than I expected. Sorry about that. I probably bored a lot of you. Some of you may find it interesting though. Anyway, so here's the full translation of the tablet.